Hello viewers, I welcome you all once again in my biology channel. It's BioHub and I'm your facilitator, Dr. Seema Sharma. Dear viewers, I'm in this field of teaching and learning process since a decade now. And during all these years, I have got the opportunity to interact with a large number of students, right from class 7 to students who are doing their masters, and that too in different states of our country, working for students, working with students, and presenting the complex biological concepts in a simple and fun-filled manner is my passion. I want to ignite the interest of my students in biology and see them growing up as budding scientists, doctors, microbiologists, and above all, refined human beings. And this channel, BioHub, is a small attempt in that direction. So, now coming to today's content, viewers. These days, I'm going ahead with a series of videos on chapter 2 of class 7. And now it's time to proceed and see what all is there to explore with respect to this chapter in our today's video. Ready viewers? So come along and stay tuned till the end. This is my channel viewers, BioHub, and on this channel, today's video is on one of the subtopics from chapter 2 from class 7. So chapter 2, nutrition in animals. What all is there in this chapter? Let's have a look on the layout. Chapter 2, nutrition in animals. It's basically divisible into 6 subparts, and I have already uploaded videos of first 4 parts. Nutrition in microbes, mode of feeding in lower level animals, parts of human digestive system. And my previous video was on process of digestion. In that, I have covered up to digestion in buccal cavity. In this video, we'll proceed further and we'll try to explore the process of digestion in our stomach and small intestine. But those who have not seen my videos, I want to let them know that this is a very interesting chapter full of information and enabling us to know about microbes, insects, amphibians, their mode of feeding, and above all about our own digestive systems. So we are here, viewers. We are discussing human digestive system. Let's have a look on the learning objective of this video. Viewers, with the help of this video, you will come to know about the process of digestion in stomach and small intestine. You will also come to know how absorption, assimilation, and digestion is taking place in human digestive system. Before proceeding with these two objectives, I'll go for a quick recap of steps in the process of digestion also. So ready viewers? So steps of digestion in humans. This is our digestive system, and the visual clip is also showing the movement of food from mouth through different parts of it. So first step is movement of food from hand to mouth. In second step, we have to focus on its further movement from mouth to stomach. We have to know what all is taking place in stomach. In fourth step, we will come to know how small intestine is helping in the process of digestion. In fifth step, we will realize what is the function of large intestine. And lastly, we will also come to know how this removal of solid waste material is taking place from our body. So this is about steps of digestion in humans. What all I have covered in my previous video, let's have a look of that also. So viewers, my previous video was on nutrition in animals, part 5A. And in that video, the process of digestion in buccal cavity was taken in detail. In that video, we came to know that in the process of digestion, buccal cavity also plays a very important role. And this buccal cavity, it has different parts: teeth, tongue, and salivary glands. In human beings, we have 4 types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. And these teeth, they are helping in physical breakdown of food. Second part is tongue. Here we came to know that the tongue is a muscular organ and it is helping in mixing the food well. And the unique and special feature of tongue is that it has taste bud on its surface. Then we came to know about the logic of watering of our mouth, and that is because of the presence of three pairs of salivary glands in our buccal cavity. They are releasing some watery fluid and it is called saliva. It makes the food wet, soft, chewable, and that helps in the physical breakdown of food. The saliva also has one digestive juice or enzyme, and its name is amylase. It helps in the digestion of starch. So, digestion of starch, it starts from the buccal cavity. So, this is about buccal cavity, its parts, their function. So, after chewing, the food is rolling down and coming to our food pipe. And from food pipe, it is landing into our stomach. So, how that is happening? Let's have a visual clue of that. So, food, we are swallowing it, and tongue is pushing it down. It is coming to the food pipe, and with the help of those contraction or relaxation, that is the peristaltic movement, it is finally landing into a J-shaped structure, that is stomach. Viewers, we have completed first two steps of journey of food, but we still have to explore few more interesting facts and features of our digestive system, and for that we are now proceeding with step 3, the fate of food in the stomach. So viewers, this stomach, it's a very interesting part of human digestive system, and it contains certain amazing things inside it. The inner lining of the stomach, it secretes three type of chemicals. First is mucus, second is hydrochloric acid, and third is digestive juices, or to be more precise, digestive enzymes. And these three things are helping the stomach to partially digest the food. How? I'll let you know, but before that, I want to discuss about the speciality of these three chemicals. Viewers, first I'm taking this hydrochloric acid. It's a one chemical and it is so corrosive that if we'll put one drop of it on a paper, paper will burn immediately. If we'll put it on some cloth, it can be cotton or any, the cloth will also immediately get burned. So now you must be thinking that why there are no holes in our stomach? Mucus. There are certain cells in our stomach. They secrete some sticky material, mucus, and it is trickling down throughout the inner wall of stomach, and it is shielding the inner lining of the stomach. The stomach muscles, they squeeze and mix the food with digestive juices. Digestive juices, they break down the protein into simple substances. But digestive juices, they are not active all the time. They are activated by hydrochloric acid. So this is the first function of hydrochloric acid, that it helps in the activation of protein digestive juices or enzymes which are present or secreted from the inner wall of stomach. Another function of hydrochloric acid is, I told you about the fate of paper. So if there are any bacteria in our food which we have eaten, so this HCl, it will kill those bacteria which enters into our digestive system along with food. So this is about these three secretions and their role in the process of digestion. Now what happens? The food gets partially digested in the stomach, and now this partially digested food is called chyme. Spelling is CHYME. CH is pronounced as K. So this partially digested food goes to the next part of human digestive system, and that is small intestine for further digestion. Now we are going to observe the same thing with the help of a visual clip. Ready, viewers? See, when the food it rolls down and comes into this J-shaped structure called stomach, it is acted upon by hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. They help in partial digestion of the food. And mucous membrane, it protects the inner wall of stomach from the action of HCl. It also helps in killing the bacteria which enters into the digestive tract along with the food. And second thing is this HCl helps in activation of protein digestic enzymes. These protein digestic enzymes, they start digesting the protein containing part and break into smaller parts. So now their muscular contraction and relaxation of this stomach walls, which is called peristalsis, it churns the food into further smaller parts and mixes it well. This, the semi-digested liquid is called chyme. This chyme exits the stomach and gradually moves to next part of the digestive tract, and that is small intestine. So we are on steps of digestion in humans. We have covered the fate of food in the stomach, and now we have to proceed further and explore the small intestine, ME. What is happening to the chyme in small intestine and thereafter. So viewers, for that, I want to draw your attention to the external view of our stomach and small intestine. This part is a very important part. I'm talking about this part. When chyme is pushed to this initial part of the small intestine. This part is very important. Why it is important and what special is happening in this part? Let's explore that together. So now we are on step 4. We have to see the fate of that chyme or partially digested food in small intestine. So the food leaves our stomach very in small lots, little by little, and enters in the initial part of our small intestine. And our small intestine is the longest part of our alimentary canal, and it's about 7 meters in length. Now, I told you about one special part, and that is this part, viewers. This is stomach. So, partially digested food, which is known as chyme or acid chyme, because it's acidic in nature. It is pushed further and it is reaching in the initial part of small intestine. Two digestive glands, liver and pancreas, they are pouring their digestive juices into this part. This part. So this part is very important as far as the process of digestion is concerned. What my viewers have to understand, that in the initial part of small intestine, two digestive glands, liver, which is the largest digestive gland in our body, and one leaf-like gland, which is pancreas, they pour their digestive juices. And those juices, they help in the process of digestion. So before proceeding with digestion of food in small intestine, let's know about liver, pancreas, and their role in the process of digestion. So viewers, liver, it is the largest gland of human body. It produces one juice that is called bile. This bile is temporarily stored in one smaller sac-like structure called gallbladder, and then it is poured in the initial part of small intestine. Now this bile juice, what is its function? Bile juice, it does not contain any enzymes. Even then, it is very useful in the process of digestion. It helps in the emulsification of fats, means conversion of complex fat into simple soluble substance. So bile juice, it is secreted by liver, temporarily stored in the gallbladder and poured in the initial part of small intestine, and its role is in the emulsification of fats, conversion of complex fat into simple soluble form. Next is pancreas. So this leaf-like structure which is present beneath our stomach is pancreas, and it secretes pancreatic juices. And these juices are also poured into the initial part of small intestine. Now this pancreatic juice, it helps in the digestion of starch. It converts starch into simple sugar. It converts proteins into amino acids. So this helps in the digestion of carbohydrates as well as in the digestion of proteins. And you know about the muscular movements of small intestine also, because the entire digestive tract has contracts and relax, and that movement is called peristalsis. So here also muscular movement in the small intestine mixes food with more digestive juices which are secreted by the cells of small intestine. This part is receiving three type of juices: from liver, that is bile juice; second from pancreas, that is pancreatic juice; and third is intestinal juices. They are from the inner wall of small intestine. So in the initial part of small intestine, this small intestine has three parts, and about which you have to learn in your higher classes. But its first part is called duodenum. So in this part, the process of digestion, it completes, and food, whatever we have eaten, it is converted into simple soluble nutrients. So what is the end product of this carbohydrate, protein or fat? They all are getting converted into simple soluble nutrients. If it's a starch, it is getting converted into glucose. If it's protein, it is getting converted into amino acids. If it's fat, it is finally getting converted into fatty acid and glycerol. So now in our small intestine, very simple soluble nutrients are present, and they are glucose, amino acid, fatty acid and glycerol. So this is about the process of digestion in small intestine. So what is the next step, viewers? Absorption in the small intestine. So not only digestion completes in our small intestine, but the small intestine, it also has a very important role in the absorption of those simple soluble nutrients. How it is doing that? Let's explore that also. So the inner wall of small intestine, this one is the inner, it is the inner view of our small intestine, viewers, the first one. And it has numerous finger-like folds, thousands and thousands of finger-like projections called villi. These villi, they help in the absorption of these soluble simple nutrients. I'm talking about glucose, amino acid, fatty acid and glycerol. And how these villi, they are doing it. For that, I want to take you to this singular finger-like fold, and singular is called villus. So each villus or each finger-like fold, it is surrounded by numerous very fine blood vessels called blood capillaries. And here, this is the place for the exchange of material. These simple soluble nutrients, they are taken into these fine blood vessels called blood capillaries. So these nutrients, they are passing from these finger-like folds into this fine blood capillary. So what is next, viewers? Next step is assimilation in this. Now whatever is important for the body, and it's in the form of simple soluble nutrients, it's there in the blood vessels. So these nutrients, they are transported to each and every part of the body and each and every cell of the body through these blood vessels. They are used to provide energy and material for growth and repair of body tissues. So this is the final stage in the process of digestion, and it is known as assimilation. So what is happening in assimilation? How that simple soluble nutrients they are utilized to get energy. Glucose is further broken down into carbon dioxide, water, and there is release of energy. What amino acids? They help in building and repairing of the body parts. So third one is fatty acid and cholesterol. They are stored under the skin. They act as energy reserves. Last step in the process of digestion is digestion. Here comes the role of large intestine. Viewers, not all the food that we eat is digested and absorbed. So what is happening to the undigested food? The food that cannot be digested moves from small intestine to a tube called large intestine or colon, and here absorption of water takes place. This large intestine is around 1.5 meters in length. From here, food is further pushed because of peristalsis to second last part of alimentary canal, and this undigested solid food is stored for some time in the rectum, and then it is passed out or eliminated from the body through anus. So this was about the journey of food, its digestion, role of different digestive enzymes, and the removal of undigested solid food from the body. So the learning outcome of this video is we discussed about digestion in stomach and small intestine. We also came to know how those simple soluble nutrients they are taken up by blood vessels and how they are reaching to each and every part of the human body utilized there for getting energy, for wear and repair, for growth and development. In the last, we also came to know what happened to the undigested solid food material. So now it's time to share a worksheet with you. This worksheet will help you to go for a self-assessment. Here also I have included a variety of questions for quick self-assessment. Now let me tell you what all I'm going to upload in my next video. Next video will be on chapter 2, Nutrition in Animals, part 6. The last part, this video, I'm going to cover the process of digestion in ruminants. So now it's time to sign out, viewers. But before that, I want to thank you all for watching my channel. Do share this with your fellow friends. So it's a bye from your facilitator. Take care and stay tuned to my channel, BioHub. Bye.